Housing is a hot topic in Somerville. Reporter Peter Balonon-Rosen takes a look beyond the official story in the first in an ongoing investigative series about affordable housing in Somerville.
Somerville is in crisis. The homes and apartments here are becoming too expensive for the people who live here. I'm here at Clarendon Hill Apartments in the first in a series of stories focusing on the housing issue. According to Zillow.com, an online real estate database, the median rent in Somerville is $2,100. That's up almost 17% since October 2011. There are programs for people who can't pay market rate for housing. There are rental subsidies available for those who qualify, sometimes called Section 8. And there are apartments at city, state, or federal housing developments for families or individuals like Mystic Apartments, St. Polycarp Village, and other locations around the city. Additionally, units are available for the elderly who qualify at places like Properzy Manor or Capon Court. These units are overseen by the Somerville Housing Authority.
Our role is to provide affordable housing, and it really is affordable housing. It's 30% of one's income. When your income goes up and your income goes down, your rent changes along with it. We have no vacancies. At any given moment, we might have one apartment, but it's already got 10 people on that waiting to move into that one apartment. So if you're very poor, you probably, if you're a Somerville resident and you're not an emergency, you will wait years and years, sometimes 5, 10 years before we could ever house you. Unfortunately, some of those people that are on that waiting list today may have to move long before we could ever contact them again. And now we're down to hundreds, close to 1,000 of people in Somerville that are still on those waiting lists.
The city and agencies have built or helped assure the creation of apartments and condos that are categorized as affordable housing. This means that they are rented or sold below market rate to individuals and families who qualify, generally because they make less than the area median income, which in 2013 was about $65,000 for individuals and $94,500 for a family of 4. Lately, officials have been talking a lot about housing, making promises that even more affordable housing units will be constructed.
We have a real plan for the city as laid out in Summer Vision. We have a range of things that we want to accomplish in Somerville. One of those components is the creation of 6,000 new housing units, 1,200 of them we've set a goal of making affordable.
At his inauguration, Mayor Joseph Curtatone promised to protect the people who live here.
We will protect those who have chosen Somerville and help shape Somerville. That starts with affordability. And affordability starts with housing. We will create a new affordable housing program for working middle-class families. We will not leave the middle class behind.
I think what's happening in the city, which is, I think, is an interesting conversation to have, is what is affordable. And I interview enough people, I know enough people, I know a lot of young groups that are in Somerville, and they'll all tell you if they don't own and they're here and they're starting families, many of them are not going to stay here. So then I turn to the working people who are not eligible for any subsidies, and that is who I think we are squeezing out.
According to 2010 federal statistics, over half of the city's residents, at least 17,000 households, qualify for housing assistance. But there are only about 4,500 designated affordable units available. Not surprisingly, when the 29 new affordable housing rental units at the St. Polycarp development opened up, over 1,000 families applied. Right now, 12,500 households, totaling at least 29,000 individuals, can't get the housing assistance for which they qualify. These are the families that Somerville risks losing. The city says it wants to build another 1,200 affordable units, And every time a big development goes up, 12.5% of the units are required to be affordable. But will these efforts be enough? I recently spoke with Ward 1 Alderman Matt McLaughlin about the challenges that Somerville is facing.
You know, a lot of the affordable housing we have here isn't even that affordable. There's not much affordability for middle-class families as well, so it goes both ways. This happened to a friend of mine who he lives in a nice affordable unit, mixed income housing, and he had the opportunity to get a promotion, and the promotion would have put him outside of that income bracket, which would have made him unable to afford to live here. So he turned the job down. So he'd rather have the affordable unit and be able to survive than to get a promotion and lose it. There's a lot of things positive things that come with gentrification, like the improvement to the community as a whole. It's a lot safer, it's a lot cleaner city than it was when I was growing up. But I just want to make sure that myself and people like me can afford to stay here.
This is the first in a series looking at the challenges surrounding affordable housing and gentrification in Somerville. Tune in next time as we dig further into this issue. For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Peter Balonon-Rosen.
Our next newscast will continue this series, which looks at the challenges related to housing as Somerville becomes even more popular.